The Texans beat the Jaguars 20-3 in the last game of the regular season, bringing their record to 11-5 to close out the year. The Texans also, with the win, clinched the AFC South for what, the 5th time in 8 years? So, what else is new? But honestly, this is good because, in my opinion, this is the first, I guess you could say, AFC South championship that I've been proud of since the 2012 one. I mean, let's be real. I mean, when we went to the playoffs, won the division in, 2015, 2016, we were 9-7 both years. And we just got embarrassed in the playoffs. We got bounced out easily. And this year, I don't think that'll be the same. I'm not saying we're going to go all the way. But I do believe that this team is not going to get embarrassed how other teams did. Like the 2012 team got embarrassed up in New England. Obviously, the 2015 team got shut out by the Chiefs. We don't talk about that one. And then, New England won again with Brock Osweiler. We could have won that one, but, Texans stuff happened, so yeah. But this is the first time I'm really proud of the Texans for actually, going to the playoffs. I think this year they're not an easy out, how some people still may claim. I think this team's going to make some noise. I don't think they're going to, go all the way. I mean, it could happen. We got Watson, but I try to be as realistic as possible. But now, as far as the seeding goes, right now we're currently the 3rd seed because, the Patriots won against the Jets. I mean, that was obviously going to happen. But, we still have a chance at a first round bye. It's a slim one, but it's still there. We just got to hope that the Chiefs lose to the Raiders and the Chargers lose to the Broncos. So, yeah, it's looking pretty slim. But, hey, if it happens, hell yeah. If it doesn't, then, we got to get prepared to play Tennessee or Indianapolis next week. Personally, I think we're playing Indianapolis. I don't think Tennessee has a chance in the world in that game. But, I am hoping we get to play Tennessee. Because, obviously, they're an easy out. They're not a good team. But now as far as the game goes, I mean, 20-3, decent outcome. I guess you could say they won. I know some people are probably going to be pissed that we didn't, completely crush them 100-2. But, I mean, let's be real here. The Jaguars still have a very talented defense. They weren't going to let us just, shred them all day. Even though they really couldn't stop us, they weren't going to let us, get some easy touchdowns and stuff like that. Even though the refs took away a touchdown from Watson because he was not down, still, I thought the offense performed decently. Deshaun, he had a pretty good game. He was playing up against one of the better defenses in the league. And honestly, probably the best defense we'll see all season. I don't think there's a defense out there in the playoffs that is better than this Jacksonville Jaguars defense. I mean, honestly, unless we go to the Super Bowl and play the Bears, I don't think we'll encounter a team that has a defense as talented as the Jaguars. But Watson, though, I thought he had a pretty damn good game. I mean, obviously he was playing against a good defense. But then when you take a look at his receivers, who he was throwing to, he had D-Hop with one leg, and we'll get into D-Hop later. He had DeAndre Carter, Vincent Smith, and some other guy that I forgot his name. The guy, number 11, he gave us the ball inside the 5 because he got pass interference. That guy. So he was pretty much throwing to no names and D-Hop on a leg. And he was still able to move the ball on the Jaguars. And a good part of that was because Deshaun Watson was being used in the run game. Read options and stuff like that. I don't think I've seen that unless I'm forgetting. Because I do forget things. But I don't think we've seen Bill O'Brien really use Deshaun Watson like that much. We might have seen it like a little bit, like for example against Tennessee, that touchdown run. But I don't think we've seen him do it this much. I believe he had like 13 carries for like 60-something yards. Like, that is the most we've seen Bill O'Brien use Deshaun like that. And that gives us a little extra wrinkle for the playoffs. Something else defenses have to think about when they're playing us in the playoffs. So I thought that was good. I mean, Deshaun did a good job of protecting himself. When he was running the ball, slid. He went out of bounds a few times. Like, he did a good job, and that's what's important. Deshaun's got to learn to protect himself. Now, in the pocket, that's a different story, man. He's got to throw the ball away. But I feel like part of that reason is that he didn't throw the ball away today, or that he didn't let go of the ball today, was because, again, look at his receivers. Who can he trust out there other than DeAndre? And DeAndre's on one leg. So, I think that was part of the reason why hopefully next week we get Kiki back and he can trust Kiki. I mean, we've seen Kiki, what he can do, what he did against the Colts. He had 11 receptions in his debut. So hopefully he comes back soon and, he's good to go. He's healthy, stays healthy the rest of the way. If there is a rest of the way, because you never know what can happen in these playoffs. I mean, literally, I think the playoffs this year in the AFC, they're wide open. I mean, literally, anyone can go all the way. That's the way it's looking like. Every team has a weakness in the playoffs. Every team's beatable. Now, the run game. The run game was a little bit better today. There was some occasions where they did get stuffed. But I do think it was a step in the right direction against, again, a very talented Jacksonville front. Even though they have allowed a good chunk of rushing yards this season, I still think, it was a step in the right direction for the Texans. Because, as you guys know, since the second half of that Browns game earlier this month in December, they haven't had a consistent run game. I mean, it was consistently bad, I guess you could say. But the run game has been non-existent up until today. And, of course, Deshaun helped with some of that. A new little wrinkle to the offense that defenses have to worry about again. But the O-line, pass pro, yikes, man. That was terrible. I mean, I saw Davenport get beat a couple times. I saw Kellamedi get beat. I saw Nick Martin sack Fulton. I think the only guy that didn't get beat disgustingly today from that O-line was Kendall Lamb. I mean, everyone else, there was at least one or two plays from everyone else where I was like, what the hell was that? That's ugly as hell. But, again, we're not going to see a talented front like this the rest of the way in the playoffs. I mean, yes, technically, Kansas City, they have D4, Justin Houston, and Chris Jones, but those are only 3 guys. The Jaguars have multiple guys, more than 4 that are good at what they do. And then, of course, you got the Chargers, Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. But again, no interior help. I mean, the Jags had Malik Jackson, Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue, Taven Bryan. They even have Telvin Smith and Miles Jack out there too. So, again, they don't compare to this Jaguars defensive front any of the teams will be playing in the playoffs. Again, unless, we play the Bears in the Super Bowl. But, come on, I don't see that. But, yeah, I thought the O-line, run game, good. Pass game, not so good. Got to get better. Receivers, Vincent Smith had a drop. DeAndre Carter did okay. D-Hop, man, dude. D-Hop's the best wide receiver in the league, man. And it's not close. I feel like a broken record. I say this literally every week. D-Hop is the best wide receiver in the league. People need to stop debating about it. People need to start showing him some more respect because he's the best wide receiver in the league. Now today, you guys saw. National media, everyone considers Jalen Ramsey the best corner in the NFL. And, there's no debate for it. I think we can all agree Jalen Ramsey is the best corner in the league. D-Hop had 12 receptions, 140 yards on him. And he has a messed up ankle, man. D-Hop's been on one foot for the past 2 games. And for D-Hop to do that to Jalen Ramsey, The best corner in the league. Come on, dude. Like, you seriously cannot make an argument for anyone else. Like, literally. Tell me a wide receiver that can beat Jalen Ramsey for 12 receptions, 140 yards. Tell me. Because I don't think his whole career Jalen Ramsey has allowed something like that. And then also, you got to consider, D-Hop was on one leg. You know? D-Hop is the best wide receiver in the league. No debate about it. I think it's official. And yeah, if anyone disagrees, they should probably be thrown in an insane asylum. Because, like, come on, bro. Like, facts are facts, man. Like, come on. Like, you can't tell me. You know, just watch them. Just watch them. Like, there is no one out there that can make a debate for Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, OBJ. You know, they want to throw OBJ over D-Hop, too. Like, come on, bro. Like, D-Hop's the best. Like, I'm done even trying to, you know, put up with the people that disagree with that fact. Because that's a fact at this point. Like, he's the best. No, he's not top 5. No, he's not top 3. He's number 1. And that's it. That's final. I don't want to hear anyone ever say Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, and then, you know, D-Hop. But, you know, you could put OBJ over D-Hop. Man, no. D-Hop's number 1. That's it. Final. Anyways, defense. D-line. D-line did pretty good. Really good, actually. JJ had, what, a sack and a half? Carlos Watkins had a sack, too. They stuffed the run well. I think Whitney had a half a sack. JJ forced the fumble. I mean, the whole front seven, in my opinion, they performed really well. Secondary also played really well today. There was a couple occasions where, you know, it could have been a big play, but luckily we were playing Blake Bortles, and yeah, Blake Bortles is not a good quarterback, so he obviously overthrew the ball. So the Texans, you know, caught a couple breaks there. Defense just today, you know, they came with energy. They looked good for the first time since, I'll probably say, maybe the Broncos game. Even then, dude, like, our defense has been pretty leaky, like, the second half of the season since the bye week, in my opinion. I mean, Colt McCoy shredded us, but again, that's the backup stuff. You know, backup comes in, he shreds anyone. Just the way it happens. And then, you know, obviously, we let Mariota have a career game on us, even though we still won. Baker Mayfield, even though we picked him off 3 times, he still threw for like 350 yards in the second half. And then obviously Sam Darnold tore us up, Andrew Luck tore us up, Nick Foles tore us up. So today was like back to the first half of the season defense. Defense performed well. They looked energized. They looked good. But again, you know, part of that could have been because we were playing Blake Bortles, not a good quarterback. We're not going to see bad quarterbacks in the playoffs unless we play the Tennessee Titans in round 1. But I just don't see us playing them, so the Texans defense is going to have to turn it up a notch, get some more pressure on whoever we're playing. J.J. Watt had, I guess it was an elbow injury. You know, he went back out there, he had a little elbow brace. So hopefully he's good to go. Hopefully D-Hop is healed too on offense. And yeah, all around, in my opinion, a good win. I mean, I know some people are probably going to be mad that we didn't score 102 points, but again, this is a good Jaguars defense. Defensively, we did what we had to do. We stopped a terrible quarterback. I mean, let's be honest. This game should have been a shutout if it wasn't for that BS ball that the refs gave them inside our 10. Because, obviously, that was fair catch interference. Because, I forgot who it was. One of our guys, you know, apparently pushed a Jag into DeAndre Carter, you know. So, that wasn't really the case. The guy barely even touched him. And I think it was DJ Chark. He just freaking jumped at DeAndre Carter, and you know, apparently the ball belonged to Jacksonville from there. But yeah, we all know how it really went down. We all know that the ball should have been Houston's, and if the call would have been right, the Jaguars would have scored 0 points. So yeah, then of course on the other end, Deshaun Watson's first rushing touchdown, which for some reason they called he was down when he was clearly not down. There was literally nothing at all that indicated that Deshaun Watson could have even been down. So that's a 7-point swing right there. I mean, this final score really should have been like 24-0, but refs tried to interfere, but, Texans made it known who the better team was that day, and they didn't really give the refs a chance to ruin the game for us, because that's the way it was looking like early on. Like they were trying to ruin the game. But, I thought it was a good win by the Texans. Now, the last thing I kind of want to talk about is Deshaun Watson being in the game, late in the game. I believe we got the ball back with like 9 minutes left. We were up 20-3. And Deshaun was still in the game. Like, yeah, that probably shouldn't be a thing because you don't want to risk unnecessary injuries. I'm not saying Deshaun's injury prone, but you never know, Like, what if, Calais Campbell falls on Watson and then, Watson breaks a rib or something, Like, you're just trying to avoid those situations, Like, those are easily avoidable situations. I mean, I know some people were complaining, mostly the media for whatever reason. They were complaining about Watson running the ball 13 times or however many times he ran the ball. To me, that was a non-issue even late in the game because Deshaun Watson was doing a very good job of protecting himself. And I've always said, I have no problem with Deshaun running the ball as long as he's protecting himself, like sliding, going out of bounds. He was doing that today, so that's fine. I'm okay with it. Now, what I did have a problem with was when he was dropping back, going for these deep passes late in the game when the game was over. Like, in my opinion, that's unnecessary, and those were just pretty much like hold your breath type of moments and hope that he didn't get hit. And a few times he did get hit, sometimes because, O-line didn't block well, other times because he didn't want to let go of the ball. But in the end, he came out good, healthy. So all is good, I guess you could say, but in the future, hopefully, that don't happen, Anyways, Texans are AFC South champions again. Suck it, Tennessee. Suck it, Indianapolis. And especially you, Jacksonville. Suck it. Back to the basement you go. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.